All right, welcome to The Explainer. We are jumping straight into the absolute unprecedented hype surrounding Grand Theft Auto 6. We've taken all the data, all the solid rumors, and essentially gamified the biggest takeaways into a top 10 countdown. So get comfortable, because we're going to break down exactly why the entire gaming world is currently holding its collective breath. So you gotta ask yourself, is this literally the most anticipated game in history? Now, that is a colossal claim. But honestly, when we look at the data, the whole decade of rumors, and the sheer cultural impact we're about to unpack, the answer leans heavily towards yes. I want you to just keep this question in the back of your mind as we go through the list, because the expectations here are, well, they're absolutely astronomical.
All right, level 1. Welcome to Leonida. Let's kick things off.
Starting our countdown at number 10, we have this sheer, mind-boggling size of the biggest open-world Rockstar has ever built. What's really fascinating here is the scale. We are officially heading back to the state of Leonida. If you're a longtime fan, you already know that means we're getting a modern, fully realized version of Vice City. But actually, scratch that. It's not just a single city layout anymore. It is a massive, sprawling region that completely pushes the boundaries of digital world building.
Because Leonida encompasses so much more than just those classic neon streets. We're talking vast beaches, murky swamps, quiet little small towns, and miles upon miles of highways. And if past games are any indicator, literally every single corner of the map is going to be packed with secrets just waiting to be found. The source material actually points out something super interesting about human nature here. We just can't resist wandering into places clearly labeled "Do Not Enter." And this whole world is built entirely around that irresistible urge to go poke around forbidden areas across these wildly diverse environments.
Moving right along down the list to number 9, a new dual protagonist story. Now, this is a massive shift for the franchise. For the very first time in a mainline entry, we're not just following one lone wolf, and we aren't jumping between a trio of guys doing their own thing. We are getting a deeply, deeply intertwined narrative. Say hello to our two leads, Lucia and Jason. Their relationship is heavily inspired by Bonnie and Clyde. This whole setup promises a story that's going to feel a lot more personal and emotionally grounded. But hey, don't worry. The sources make it clear that this deeper emotional core is not going to come at the cost of the over-the-top action you'd expect. It's really just about anchoring all that absolute chaos in a genuinely compelling high-stakes partnership. Dropping in at number 8, stunning next-generation graphics. Since this game is being built exclusively for modern hardware, those old technical ceilings from past console generations, they're completely gone. The developers basically didn't have to compromise on anything. It's all about blurring that line between video games and reality. We are talking about incredibly realistic lighting that totally shifts the mood of a scene, character models so detailed you can see every tiny facial expression, and weather effects designed to make you literally feel that thick Florida-inspired humidity. Honestly, every piece of footage analyzed shows visual fidelity that feels almost indistinguishable from a movie, right up until the exact moment you decide to steal a sports car in broad daylight, of course. That signature chaos is still there, it's just rendered in breathtaking realism. Moving on to level 2, immersion and action. So the real magic is how these next 3 reasons interlock to create an experience you can just completely get lost in. Let's run through them rapid fire, almost like checking off an RPG quest log. Number 7, a living, dynamic world. NPCs react way more naturally to your antics, traffic behaves realistically, the wildlife is incredibly varied, and this is a big one for a modern setting. Social media plays a huge role in how the world functions and reacts to you. Number 6, improved gameplay and combat. Years of refinement means smoother gunplay, much smarter enemy AI, better stealth, and tighter driving physics. And then number 5, endless exploration, which pretty much ties the whole shebang together. Which brings us right here. From swanky luxury hotels to remote, dusty backroads and those dangerous swamps we mentioned, the sheer variety of locations is staggering. So I gotta ask you, what are you gonna explore first? Are you the type to hunt down every hidden collectible, search the alleyways for Easter eggs, or are you just gonna drive around waiting for a random encounter to trigger? There is just so much packed in here to keep us busy long after the main story rolls its credits. All right, level 3, the Rockstar standard. Coming in at number 4, Rockstar's insane attention to detail. Seriously, very few developers on the planet can even touch this studio when it comes to environmental storytelling. We're talking about the absolute micro details here. Realistic branching conversations between random people on the street that you can literally just stand there and listen to. Interactive businesses you can just walk right into. And totally believable daily routines for the NPCs.
It creates a world that feels incredibly authentic, and it heavily rewards you for simply paying attention.
Which leads us perfectly into number 3, an expanded online experience. The legacy of GTA Online is, well, it's undeniable, right? So for this new entry, expectations for the online mode are just sky high. It's fully expected to build on everything the studio has learned over the past decade. We're looking at massive new heists, deep role-playing opportunities, intricate new businesses to run, and a pipeline of updates designed to keep this digital world thriving for years and years.
And now we hit number 2 on our countdown, years of development. You don't get the staggering level of detail we just talked about overnight. Rockstar has spent many, many years carefully crafting this title, making it quite literally one of the most ambitious projects in the entire history of gaming. This super extended, patient development cycle is exactly what allowed them to polish these massive systems, expand the world to this crazy degree, and guarantee that level of unparalleled quality the fans demand.
Here we are, final boss, the ultimate wait. Number 1, the main reason for all this hype is beautifully simple, honestly. It is the first new mainline entry in over a decade. I mean, just look at this timeline. It really puts the anticipation into perspective, doesn't it? 2013 was the last mainline release. Think about exactly where you were back in 2013 and how much the real world has changed since then. Then we had years and years of relative silence on a sequel, straight through 2019. And now, today, look at this massive blank space in the timeline. It perfectly illustrates exactly why expectations for this landmark open-world game are so incredibly high. Fans have waited more than 10 years. Very few pieces of media could ever carry this level of expectation without collapsing. But Rockstar kind of has the history of delivering on it. Which brings us to our final takeaway. I absolutely love this punchy quote from our source material. Patience is apparently humanity's preferred pre-order bonus. It's so true, isn't it? We've all been paying into that pre-order with our time and our anticipation for over 10 years. So as you look back at all the incredible features and innovations we've walked through in our countdown today, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. When a piece of media carries over a decade of built-up, sky-high expectations, how will its release fundamentally change the landscape of entertainment forever? Keep your eyes on Leonida, guys, because we are all about to find out.